Korea is screaming because of the huge number of crimes happening everywhere. No one can stop them anymore. People are feeling stressed, angry, and are starting to hurt each other. Everyone is waiting for someone to fix everything. Criminals are doing worse and worse things. Killing, hurting animals, violence, drugs. There's almost no evil left that they didn't try. And the police? They just watch doing nothing, like it's not their job, except for one honest police officer. He works hard, stays up all night, and goes on patrol to make sure everything is safe in his area. For example, one day he saw a woman hit a man by mistake with her car. She said, "Sorry, it wasn't on purpose." But the man was angry and said, "My leg is broken," and started shouting. The officer stepped in and said, "Calm down. If someone is hurt, file a report. Don't fight in the street." In another case, a landlord went to a tenant's house to ask for rent, but she found him dead. He killed himself. The police came, and they didn't want to investigate. They said, "It's clear, just suicide. Close the case." But then they found bullets in the man's pocket. That was strange. Where did he get them from? Guns are not allowed in Korea. It's supposed to be a safe country. So the hero officer decided to investigate by himself. He knows a lot about weapons. When he looked at the bullets, he was shocked. They don't even exist in Korean villages, not even in the military. How did a jobless man who just got out of prison get bullets like that? And not just that. While the officer was investigating, bullets started falling from the ceiling like rain. He knew something serious was happening. Later, he met his kind adoptive father, who is also a police officer. His father told him, "Stay away from this case, son. It's not your job. Let the officer in charge handle it. You should focus on getting promoted instead of wasting your time on the streets." But the hero said, "I love working in the field. Don't stop me." Then the father said, "Fine. Do what you want, but my daughter wants to move out and live alone. Are you okay with that?" The hero replied, "Yes, I'm okay with it." The father shouted, "What? Are you serious?" Then he started drinking until his daughter came and took him home. Since she's his sister, the hero wanted to support her. He said, "If you need anything, just tell me." She replied, "If you can buy me a fridge and a TV, then I'll truly see you as my brother and best friend." He laughed and said, "I can't even afford food. Take your dad and go." The next day, a young police officer came to the station. He was excited and full of energy, but when he found out the hero would train him, he was shocked. He saw the hero just sitting at the computer doing paperwork, like a boring office worker. Then the hero took him to check on a complaint. On the way, the young officer imagined fighting bad guys, shooting guns, and being a hero. But the hero said, "I like your energy, but slow down. Real life is not like the movies. It will crush your dreams." They arrived at a company where an old woman was protesting. Her son worked there and died from too much stress. She just wanted an apology. The young officer quickly told her, "Go away, you're making trouble." But the hero stopped him and said, "These are the bad guys you want to fight? Be smart." Then he told him the woman's story and helped her protest in a legal place. She stayed there, hoping the company boss would say just one word, "Sorry." He admitted his mistake, but at that same moment, a female employee was heading to fix something in a man's apartment. He looked suspicious and unclean. While she was working, she noticed he had a police ankle monitor, which meant he had a criminal record, especially for assaulting women. In short, he was a dangerous man. The employee panicked. She didn't know what to do. The man noticed her fear and thought she was judging him. She tried to stay calm and said, "No one said anything to you. I'm just here to finish my work quietly and leave." She was very nervous. She finished quickly and rushed to leave, but found the man locking the door. She felt like her luck had run out, but actually, she was lucky, because the hero officer arrived just in time and saved her. That moment alone deserved an Oscar. The reason he came was that the criminal's ankle monitor had lost signal. The police came to check why it wasn't working. The hero made sure the woman was safe and told her, "Next time, please check the client's background before going to their place." She replied, "Better yet, people like him shouldn't be released from prison at all." The young officer stayed with the criminal to check the device. He saw letters sent to him by his mother and asked him about them. The criminal got angry and said, "Always talking about my mom. Are you here to mess with my head?" Then he cursed him. The officer told him to lift his leg so he could inspect the monitor. The criminal started mocking him and asked, "Is your father still alive?" The officer replied, "Yes." He said, "Too bad. You'll miss him." He was about to attack the young officer, but the hero arrived at the perfect moment and brought him down. The criminal yelled, "I won't stay silent. This ankle monitor is suffocating me. I'm a human being. I have rights." The hero replied, "Be thankful the law is weak and lets you walk free. If it were up to me, I'd give you the death penalty." Then they left. Meanwhile, a university student had one goal: to study in peace. He just wanted people to respect the rules, like the media always says about good citizens. But the truth he saw was ugly. For example, he got on a train and saw someone openly selling a gun. Everyone panicked and ran away, but in the end, it turned out to be a lighter, a trick to scare people. He was just selling the idea, not the real product. Another time, he saw a man sleeping in a seat meant for pregnant women. The student politely asked him to give the seat to a pregnant lady, but the man shouted, "I'm tired. Let me sleep." Even the woman said, "Leave it. I'm used to this kind of thing." The student felt like he was the only one following the law. He wondered, why can't others be like me? Is it that hard? He started going to therapy. He told his psychologist, "I can't stand people anymore. I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm afraid I'll hurt someone. You know, doctor, sometimes I go to class, and the teacher says, 'It's still early, why did you come now?' And I imagine myself grabbing a machine gun and spraying the whole place." The students were not to blame, but his nerves were falling apart. The doctor gave him medicine to calm his stress and told him, "As long as your mind controls your emotions, you're still okay." He tried to stay calm and returned to his university dorm. But the dorm was full of noise and chaos. No one respected the rules. There was no place for peace. He studied while hearing loud sounds, and even worse, his mother used to prepare food and leave it in the fridge. But someone would always steal it. He went politely to complain to the dorm manager, but the manager replied carelessly, "Don't be too serious, just live like the other students." That moment, the student lost hope. On his way back to his room, he found his roommate playing video games loudly and smoking inside. He politely asked him to lower the volume and stop smoking, but the roommate attacked him and shouted, "Did you come to ruin my mood? Say one more word and I'll kill you." The student returned to his room, full of silent anger. He took out a weapon and pointed it at the wall, but didn't shoot. He tried to stay in control. At night, he started studying again. Suddenly, the roommate came back, this time with a girl, even though visitors were not allowed. The noise was too much. The student finally broke down and said, "I've had enough, that's it." He took out an automatic weapon and fired at the wall between the rooms. The wall was made of thin material, so the bullets hit the roommate and the girl. She was still awake and called the police. But the student took the phone from her and called the police himself. He said, "I'm going to end everything now." Then he hung up. After that, he walked to the roommate, greeted him calmly, and then shot him. He did the same to the dorm manager. Then he started walking through the dorm, killing whoever he could. He kept saying, "You pushed me to this. You never listened to me." The police arrived. They began rescuing students trapped under the rubble. They tried to talk to the student, asking him to drop the weapon. But he said, "I won't put it down. Your guns are useless. One shot from them feels like feathers. But my gun is full of real bullets." Then he started shooting at them. One officer got injured, and the police had to pull back. At that moment, the hero decided to step in. When he heard the news, he entered the building to assess the situation. He tried to distract the student so the police could rescue more students. He turned off the lights and kept him busy so he would use up his ammo. But sadly, the student saw some students escaping and fired at them again. He almost killed a rookie officer, but the hero appeared at the last moment and hit him on the head with a flashlight, knocking him out. The rest of the students were saved. The hero entered the student's room and noticed the bed looked strange. He lifted it and found a hidden locker full of weapons. The police chief arrived and ordered everyone to stay silent about the case so the media wouldn't spread panic. He also called for a weapon expert to examine the guns. But the hero said, "Why do we need an expert when I'm here?" He started assembling the weapons skillfully and explained their types. They were weapons used in wars by Germany, America, and the Soviet Union. He said, "How did these deadly weapons come to Korea? How did a simple student get them?" Then he found another weapon inside the locker, but this one was different. It looked like a sniper gun used for assassinations, the hero said in shock. This weapon is not for sale, it's not made locally, it's not used in normal missions, this was smuggled illegally. Doubts grew stronger. How could a student with no money and no connections collect a full arsenal like this? There had to be someone behind him helping or using him. The police chief wanted to close the case quickly to avoid a scandal, but the hero refused and said, "If we close this case now, we'll give a chance for hundreds like him to appear. We must find out where the weapons came from, who helped him, and why he was chosen." Later, they discovered that the student was talking to an unknown group through the dark web. They were sending him instructions and locations to pick up weapons, as if a whole organization was preparing him for something bigger. The hero realized, this wasn't just a student breaking down. It was a bigger plan. Someone used his mental state for something dangerous. The hero found an empty gun, but he noticed that the type of bullets he needed matched those found in the suicide victim's home. The police linked the two cases and decided to interrogate the student immediately after he regained consciousness in the hospital. The student refused to speak unless the hero was present, and the hero went to him and urged him to speak. The student confessed his deep admiration for the hero, and for the first time felt that someone was seriously enforcing the law. He told him that he hadn't purchased the gun, but that it had been delivered anonymously, which had made him very happy. However, the hero doubted his story and questioned why a real gun had been sent as a gift. The student replied that he didn't know, that this was the job of the police. He then mentioned that others had received guns, but offered no further information. The investigator deemed his statement nonsense and ordered the hero to leave him alone, claiming he was a liar. At the time, a gang leader was targeting a nightclub owned by a cowardly man. His men entered the club, beat up the owner, and threatened him until he signed a waiver. They then handed him over to a team of thugs specializing in concealing evidence in exchange for a promise to give them the club. The thug was delighted with the offer, but they discovered that the coward was still alive. Before they killed him, he revealed that the leader was deceiving them and would never give them the club. He offered them weapons to take over the club and control the city. The thug didn't fully believe this, but went to the leader to inform him that he had completed his work and was waiting to receive the club. The leader evaded it, saying that the club belonged to him and that he would find something else to give him. The thug, enraged by this humiliating treatment, then believed the coward. It turned out that the coward was dealing with a secret organization he knew nothing about, except that he received weapon shipments from it for distribution at the port. These weapons were stored in a secret room in the club. The thug and the coward agreed to attack the leader, using a list of the names of the people who had received the weapon shipments so they could take their weapons. Meanwhile, the pervert, who was wearing a tracking bracelet, was irritated by the police surveillance and the stares of the public. When he returned home, he found a package containing a weapon in his name. He was overjoyed and went to practice shooting near a military base. The hero pondered the student's words, wondering if other people actually owned such weapons. He went to the student's residence and noticed that the package he received was the same one he had seen with the pervert. The hero was astonished and notified the police to track down the pervert, but they discovered that he had removed the tracking device and left it in a taxi. The hero went to the pervert's house and found a stranger there who appeared to be polite. After the hero let him talk, the man told him he had received a package containing only bullets and a list of the names of the people who had received the weapons. He told him he had come to this address out of curiosity. The hero ignored him and called the technical team to track the area's cameras, but he heard someone outside, so he and Al-Kays hid. Al-Kays then ran after the man at the door, and the hero followed them. It turned out that the fleeing man was the thug's assistant, who had come to this address to obtain the weapon. The hero arrested him and asked the trainee to take him, but he received a call telling him where the pervert was. The clever one offered the hero a ride in his car, and they reached the pervert hiding among a crowd of people. The hero discovered that the pervert had gone to the police station to take revenge on the officer who had been harassing him. The hero warned the investigator, but the pervert entered the station, killed 2 employees, and then headed toward the officer. The hero and the investigator heard gunfire and entered the station, but the pervert opened fire on them and took cover in a room. The hero decided to distract the pervert so the others could escape, and he succeeded. However, the pervert severely injured the investigator, so the hero decided to use the student's weapon in the evidence room. The hero hesitated to shoot, because he had been in the army and had carried out certain orders that he regretted, and he promised himself never to use a weapon again. But the pervert gave him no choice, and he nearly killed the investigator, had it not been for a colleague of the officer who shot and wounded him. The pervert's anger grew, and the hero arrived in time and shot him, killing him. Al-Qais wasn't outside. He and a reporter entered the station and filmed the hero shooting the pervert. The reporter sold the video to a news channel, and the news spread. The hero was supposed to be honored for his heroic act, but the police deemed it reckless, and 2 officers accused him of using excessive violence and illegal weapons. The head of the department, however, staunchly defended him and ordered the 2 officers to end the investigation. The 2 officers withdrew in humiliation, and the chief thanked the hero, ordering him to rest. But upon leaving the station, the hero found journalists waiting to ask him about his violence against the criminal. The hero denounced the absurdity of the question and left angrily. As for the clever one, he admitted that he had intended to hand over the bullets, but that the hero had taken them from him. The hero was suspended for 3 months, but he continued his investigations in secret. He went to see the trainee who had failed to arrest the thug's assistant due to the interference of his gang. The hero's father recognized the assistant from surveillance cameras and discovered that he worked for a large gang led by a leader. Realizing he had located the source of the weapons, he stormed into the leader's club, which, knowing the hero's anger, treated him with the utmost respect. The hero asked the leader about his arms trade, but the leader denied it and threatened his men with knives. The hero showed the leader a photo of the assistant, but the leader denied knowing him or his connections to the arms trade or to the thug and his men. The hero left, determined to find the assistant, but first decided to confront Al-Qais, who had grown suspicious. After inquiring about Al-Qais's business card, he was told that the president's approval was required. So, the hero confronted Al-Qais directly and asked him why he was helping him despite having no connection to the case. Al-Qais revealed to the hero that he had cancer and would soon die, and that he was looking for a fun way to die. He claimed to have found a company selling free weapons online and received a package containing ammunition and a list of names. He claimed he was just looking for the weapon. Al-Qais refused to give the hero the name of the website or the list of names, claiming he had thrown them away but had memorized one of the addresses. The hero was shocked to learn that the address belonged to the kind lady protesting in front of the company where her son had died. The hero ran there, followed curiously by Al-Qais. A weapon had already arrived for the kind lady, who despaired of her daily protests in front of the company. When she saw the president of the company ignoring her, she decided to take revenge. She shot at his car, killing him, then called the hero and told him what she had done. She decided to wait for her arrest at home to say goodbye to her son. But the thug's assistant arrived first, looking for her weapon. The hero arrived in front of the house and found a car loaded with thugs. He asked the clever one to watch them while he entered the good woman's house. But the clever one, bored with waiting, decided to entertain himself. He went to the thug's car, opened the door, and ordered them to leave before they regretted it. They followed him to kill him, but he escaped in his car. The hero entered the house and found the assistant and his men, and a fierce battle ensued. The assistant called the rest of his men, but the clever one intervened and attacked them all. The hero found the good woman stabbed in the wardrobe and took her and the clever one to the hospital. The hero ordered his friends and the police to arrest the assistant and his men, and they found a list of names in their possession. The hero discovered that all those who had received the weapons were ordinary people who couldn't even afford to buy a toy gun. He realized that a large organization was exploiting people's circumstances and feelings, selling them weapons for free to create chaos and increase demand. The organization was sending the list to everyone to let them know who owned other weapons, encouraging them to confront each other and confiscate their weapons. The police chief learned this information from the hero. The hero and the smart one waited to check on the kind woman. The smart one was surprised by the hero's reaction to her. The hero told him that his family had been killed by a mentally ill man. He recounted how a kind policeman prevented him from killing the psychopath, advised him to take legal action, and adopted him as his own son. The smart one then revealed his past to the hero. His mother had abandoned him in front of a church, and he was exploited by a child trafficking gang. He was then adopted by a woman who sent him to America to start a new life, but she was working for another mafia. The American police rescued him, and the hero thanked him for his help. After seeing the news of increasing gun crimes, the hero told Al-Qays the story of a blue-eyed man who left a gun in a village, causing chaos after it was used in a murder. At that moment, a thug appeared in the elevator in front of the hero and Al-Qays and attempted to attack the hero with a knife, but Al-Qays stopped him. After they exited the elevator, Al-Qays said goodbye to the hero as if nothing had happened. Surprisingly, Al-Qays got into a luxury car with guards. It turned out that he lived at the top of a high-rise building and was extremely wealthy. He was the psychopath behind the arms distribution in Korea, waiting for chaos to erupt. The past he recounted to the hero was true, but he concealed some details. After being rescued from an organ trade, he purchased a gun and attacked a secret arms deal, killing everyone involved, including the gang that was about to kill him. The foreign mafia leader took a liking to him and adopted him, giving him a blue eye lens to replace the one that had been stolen. Al-Qays worked with the leader to distribute weapons and saw Korea as an ideal location due to its chaos and social pressure. Al-Qays was angry about the delay in the distribution of weapons due to the leader's control over the club that contained the secret weapons room. Al-Qays secretly contacted the leader and informed him of the room's contents, warning him about the thug and his men. The two officers withdrew the heads of heads after failing to argue with their president, who thanked the hero for his position. When the hero left the department, the journalists faced questions about his excessive violence with criminals. So the hero denounced this and asked, "If you were afraid of him to this extent, is he close to you? Did I have to confuse his shoulder and apologize to him to obstruct his crimes? What is this absurdity?" Then he left. As for Al-Qay, he made a recognition that he was intending to hand over the bullets that he reached, and that the hero took him from him. Because of this case, the hero was punished by stopping work for 3 months, but he did not care about the matter and continued his investigations secretly. The hero went to the trainee to ask him about the fate of the Baltaji assistant, so the latter told him that the gang saved him. Through surveillance cameras, the hero's father got acquainted with the assistant and told him that he works for a large gang. The hero realized that he had reached the source of the weapons, and he broke into the club to confront the leader, who treated him with great caution for his knowledge of the hero's strength. The hero asked him, "Frankly, how long have you been traveling with weapons?" The leader denied the charge strongly and claimed that they were stealing and killing, but they were not trading with weapons. The hero showed him the image of the assistant, but the leader denied his knowledge of him or the arms trade. The hero went out to search for the assistant himself and decided to confront the Keese, who still doubts his matter. The universe revealed to the hero his secret. "I did not intend to tell anyone, but I was relieved for you. I was diagnosed with cancer, and I will not live more than 6 months, so I wanted to die in an exciting way. I looked for a weapon over the internet, and I found a site selling it for free. Myself." The hero asked him about the site, and he told him the case that he was closed. He claimed that he threw the list, but he saved the title of a prisoner. The hero was shocked when he found that the title was returning to the good lady who was pretending to the company. The lady had despaired of her protests and decided to take revenge. "I got the weapon, stood in front of the company's president's car, and shot him." She called the hero to tell him what she did. Then she returned to her home to wait. But the al-Balataji assistant arrived before the hero to take the weapon from it. When the hero arrived, he found a car full of thugs. He asked the kaitse to watch them while he enters the house. But the kais was bored, so he went to the thugs, opened the door, and ordered them to leave. They followed him to kill him, but he escaped from them. The hero entered the house, found the assistant and his men, and a violent battle took place. The kais intervened and attacked the thugs, while the hero was facing the assistant. The hero found the good lady stabbed in the wardrobe, so he took her with Caius to the hospital. The hero ordered his police friends to arrest the assistant and his men, and insulted them until they found the list of names. The hero realized that the organization exploits the conditions of ordinary people and sends them weapons for free to spread chaos. While waiting for the hospital, Al-Qays revealed to the hero that he was an orphan, and that his mother left him in front of a church, so a gang traded him with children. He told him how he suffered in his life, and how the American police saved him from a mafia that would have killed him. The hero thanked him for his help. Meanwhile, the hero and the B-thug and the sitting witnessed the elevator and tried to attack the hero, but the ice prevented him. The biggest surprise is that the Kaiti was the gang leader who was behind everything. It was very rich and lived at the top of a tall building. His past, which he told the hero, was true, but he hid some details. A foreign mafia leader adopted him after he admired his courage and gave him a blue eye lens. The Kais worked with the leader to spread weapons in Korea, and he was angry because the gang leader took control of the club that contained the secret weapons room. The Kais called the leader secretly, told him about the weapons, and warned him of the thug. The Kais manipulated the hero again and told him that there is a teenager who has a weapon. The hero informed the police, but the teenager had taken a weapon to school. When his friend, Al-Dahai, tried to shoot the bully, the hero intervened and lost consciousness. Then he persuaded the teenager to leave the weapon. But Kais, who was watching the situation, sent a reporter to photograph the hero, which angered the audience. The police returned the hero to his work to pursue the keys, but he had disappeared. The hero discovered that the thugs and his men were disguised as a police uniform to steal weapons. The leader called the hero and claimed that he was a good citizen who wanted to report weapons in his club. But the hero hit him and asked him about the place of the cowardly man. The leader lied and claimed that he did not know his place, but he accused the thug of the arms trade. The leader agreed with the hero to hand over weapons in exchange for his protection. On the day of the interview, the cowardly leader of the club, who killed him, found revenge. The police arrived late, and they found that the thug stole all the weapons. The hero and his men attacked the warehouse. Al-Baltaji escaped, but the hero hit him, and the police arrested him. The Keys was angry because the hero spoils his plans, but he decided to continue the matter. He asked the reporter to publish news that causes chaos. The hero discovered that weapons are equipped with a tracker, which means that they are watching everyone who has a weapon. The hero collected the evidence and went to the intelligence to discover that it was the ICE who killed the suicide because he was the person who kidnapped him in his childhood. While they are talking, the KIS has penetrated the intelligence network and opened a live broadcast. Al-Qais told the hero that a place where he would take place, and the hero ran there, and he found his father, who was carrying a weapon to take revenge on young men who suicide his daughter. The hero convinced him that the law would take his right, but the Kis appeared and shot them, and the father of the hero was wounded and died. Then the Keys shot the hero. The Kais took advantage of the situation and announced that it would provide a weapon for anyone. Chaos spread and people began to kill each other. The hero entered and saved a child, and the scene was filmed by the reporter. This video affected the people, and because of its heroism, the government decided to impose new laws to prevent weapons, and the people handed over their weapons. The hero took the unit to the hospital, but the foreign mafia leader sent someone to kill him. As for the hero, he reassured the good lady and began a normal life with the child who saved him. Here the series ended.